Welcome into your 15-minute weather. I am meteorologist John Ziegler. What we're going to do here is we'll talk a little bit about this morning and having some of this freezing fog. We'll take a look at some road conditions around the area right now as you go through the middle of your day. But we'll talk about tonight's potent low pressure center. There's tornado warnings out in Tulsa, Springfield, Missouri. There's a tornado watch. There's a nasty low pressure center that's actually been brewing here this morning down in the Missouri, Oklahoma area. And that is coming our way. It's just there's one ingredient missing, and we'll talk about it. Still, we cleared out most of our fog here in the metro. Still, look at the fog here. Late morning, midday fog in Duluth, Brainerd, even St. Cloud having a tough time fully clearing. This is where we have a dense fog advisory, again, that's going to linger into the early afternoon due to all of this melting snow. Yesterday, melting all that snow in such a deep snowpack is where we had the dense fog advisory. And it actually correlates perfectly because you look at Marshall, Jackson, it's been perfect overnight. And if I actually match up the visibility right now with the snowpack, the 10 visibility, the perfect visibility is actually in the spot where there is no snow. And that is why I always talk about not wanting to warm up at this time of the year. I don't want to warm up right now. Why? Because it always comes with punishment. Freezing fog, freezing rain, you name it, it's because of the warmth. So yes, still a deep snowpack. We're not going to completely erode the snowpack here today. Sorry, I want to show you the update here from the newest snowpack and snow depth for the Twin Cities. So again, we always take a look at this. Snow depth changes every single day. So here's the snow depth today. Technically, and I was very surprised by this, even after a 40-degree day, actually 40, some places at 50, but here with the snowpack, we were around 40. We technically didn't melt an inch. Now, I think we'll probably definitely lose an inch today, but it just shows you snowpack is different than accumulation. So what I mean is, let's say you get 10 inches of snow, that's not a snow depth. If you get a 10-inch snowfall, it compacts to say 5 inches, and that 5 inches is hard to get rid of. The last 5 inches is tough, and you're seeing that here. Even with these warm days, we've been holding on to a fairly decent snow depth across the area. Okay, now let's get to the system that we're going to be tracking here. So let's talk about what a Colorado low is and how this works from a whole large scale. So a Colorado low looks like this, right? It's a low pressure center, but I'm going to zoom out and show you why these are the potent ones. How many have we had this year in Minnesota? 0 classic Colorado lows. These type of low pressure centers, they are the big snowstorms, okay? These are the 2-day blizzard, multiple feet of snow at times, but the 10 to 18-inch snowfalls are all these. We don't get a ton, okay? And these are the more, I would say, uncommon, but they still happen each year. You usually get a chance at around 4 to 5 of these a year, okay? You get 4 or 5 of them. If you get hit by 2 of them, that's 20 to 25 inches of snow. I'm serious. If you get hit by 1 of them, you get 12. So that's why you got to get hit by these. Well, we're going to miss out on this one. This is a miss. So that does hurt the season snow totals, missing out on one of the big Colorado lows. Here's how these work and what happens in the progression of this. So what happens large scales? Yesterday, if you watched this show, we talked about how the jet stream comes up over here, down, up, and back like this. So this is how the jet looks, okay? The jet stream is the driver of not only moisture, it drives energy. That's the key. It drives the energy. So this low pressure center, yesterday it was in California. It comes into Colorado, and as it actually moves, sorry, that's Utah, but as it moves across the Rockies, and once it comes here, if I was to rewind this, actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's rewind this about, what do you want to go, 18 hours? So I could take this back 18 hours, and you're going to see this develop. So look at nothing, nothing, nothing. Watch this low develop when it crosses the Rockies, and it matches up with that moisture. Bam! Hits the moisture, explodes, right? Okay, that's really what we're looking at here for this explosion. In fact, during this morning, there was a, I'm going to turn this, let's go to, hold on. We'll put watches and warnings on here. We'll turn off satellite. And you can see there's tornado warnings this morning out in Oklahoma. You got winter storm warnings out here in Denver. So this is, let's turn on, why isn't radar working? Hold on. Okay, let's go back to 3 hours. I got it messed up here. There it is. Okay, so you can see the actual radar. I rewound it a little too much, but this was this morning. You've got a tornado watch this morning out in Tulsa from this nasty line of storms. Now you might think, doesn't it need to be spring to have tornadoes? No, these Colorado lows come with nasty wind shear. So there's two components in a severe thunderstorm, right? One component for tornadoes is instability. Now, even for Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, the instability is puny, but there's enough. So you have what we call a high shear environment, massive rotation, because this is a massive low pressure center, and just enough shear to have these what we call low DBZ tornadoes. It's low tops for thunderstorm clouds. They're low. They're not big thunderstorms, but they have so much rotation. They just spin up these little tornadoes. And again, I lived in, if you don't know, I lived in Springfield for 4 years, and I dealt with these frequently where we had these winter or early spring high rotate, or even fall, because the most intense lows are in winter, fall, and early spring. But you start, as the jet stream weakens, you actually start gaining higher instability but lower shear. That's why March, April, May is the worst of all the months, because you've got this perfect combination of really strong lows and high instability. Right now, in the middle of January, you have very low instability, extreme shear. Okay, so that's why you get this tornado warning. Anyway, so how does this work here for us? Now let's talk about what I'm going to turn this stuff off. Let's talk about what I'm looking at. So I just have these green arrows. That's the moisture. Now let me turn satellite back on here, and you're going to see something that is problematic here. So you've got kind of this split jet here. You've kind of got this flow here, and you've got this flow here. Okay, you don't want that, right? You're not looking, right? You see how you want these clouds to be driving directly into this low. This low only has one component. It has the punch of cold air or moisture. It's missing this cold air, and that's blocked off by the secondary area of the jet stream there. So it's kind of blocked off, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a bummer for folks that want snow, because we're not able to really dig that cold air in to this system. Now a lot of low pressure centers will be able to, let me pull this off here. A lot of low pressure centers like this one can really pull in straight cold air. It's pulling in some, and it pulls in the moisture, and you get this rotation, but you get this really sharp north wind to drop the temperatures. Now there's obviously now this is elevated snow, so it's just naturally colder. So Colorado doesn't care, right? Colorado doesn't care if there's strong north winds or whatever. They don't care, because they're elevated. So the higher you go up in elevation, the colder it is naturally. You don't need cold air. Well, guess what? In Minnesota, maybe you don't know this, we need a lot more to get cold air in our area. Right? We do. We need actual things to happen. When you're in Colorado, different story. Colorado gets snow all the time. All right, let's get to a closer look at what I expect at home. Now we understand the Colorado low is coming in. 2 p.m., it starts to rain. Right, it's going to be rain here at 2 p.m. So Mankato, Rochester, La Crosse area, this is going to be light rain. Now we go to 6 o'clock. I think it's pretty clear at 6 o'clock what's going on. We're talking about very heavy rain, and in fact, it's going to be raining, Rochester and La Crosse, heavy rain. I'll zoom down here, you can actually see. In fact, there's thunderstorm threats in this area. So there's going to be thunderstorms down here. This to me looks more like, January? To me, this looks more like April, May, maybe even June. But April and May for sure, right? So this is just not a snow setup. This just has way too much of a push of warmth. So as we continue on with this, you can see back at home, well, this is kind of zoomed around here. But at this time, you can see there is some snow. Now, I want to talk about this stuff here. This is called evaporative cooling. So you see how it's punched out a hole? It's not, okay, a classic snowstorm, you're going to have the whole north side white, right? Do you notice how there's green and then there's a punched hole of snow? Why is that? What? That is because this is snow through evaporative cooling process. So what that is on the north side, if you get heavy enough precipitation, there's a slight evaporation that happens and it actually just cools the temperature slowly to the down. And it just eventually cools it slow enough to, boom, you can get snow. Now you only do that, you could punch out a hole where there's heavy precip. The reason this won't turn over to snow is because it's going to be lighter precip. They're not getting as much evaporative cooling. So again, just it's all in all, there will be snow. This is again 11 p.m. Again, you could see Rhinelander up here. It's going to be Ladysmith. There's Rhinelander. They're going to see a little bit of snow up there. Here in the Twin Cities, not so much. You know, I'll circle the area here overnight if you're traveling. Again, you want to be careful if you're traveling in this spot. So Rhinelander, Wausau, Menominee, Black River Falls, Rochester, La Crosse. That's going to be a spot that is slightly dicey. Now, as you look at the actual precip, I think this really tells the story here today. If you're watching in Brainerd or St. Cloud, you're not going to see much at all. In fact, you'll probably just get a little drizzle. I don't think you're going to see any snow. Maybe you get a flurry or drizzle, nothing. Twin Cities, 0.11, cut directly in half. Maple Grove, I got you getting, again, drizzle. Hastings, I got you at 1/4 of an inch of precip. Menominee, we're talking about 0.42. In winter, to put this in perspective, 0.42 could end up being 8 inches of snow. So 0.42 is actually a lot of precipitation in the wintertime. Rochester, La Crosse, you can see we're talking over an inch of rain. In the purple, 2 inches of rain. That's Black River Falls, Tomah. That's going to be Wisconsin Dells. And then down towards areas in northern Iowa over to Dubuque. So very heavy rain out here. Lancaster, Prairie du Chien, those spots are going to see heavy rain, but no snow. Now let's talk about the snow chance. Okay, we are going to see a snow chance, but to me it's mainly rain. It's going to be mixing with snow during the rain. So down towards Rochester, you're looking at 4 to 6 inches. Coming up here, you could see, yeah, that makes sense. That's Rhinelander. Well, there's Wausau at the tip, obviously. Rhinelander up towards the UP. There is going to be some snow across the UP. You won't be melting your snow, though, in Brainerd and St. Cloud because this area is not going to get rain. And I know it's obviously a special area up here. You got snowmobiling trails that are still hanging on, especially up towards Hayward. I mean, we've had plenty of snow up there. But you're not going to be impacted up here. You're not going to add to your base, but you're not going to subtract from your base. So I think that's something also important. I don't see a bunch of snow falling in this area, actually. So just kind of what I'm looking at. Now, I do want to talk quick about long range, if you guys are still here. For snow lovers, you could see the 6 to 10 day forecast. It's warm, okay? This next 6 to 10 days, we're warm. We know that. Now, you have to understand that warmth could be 30 degrees. It might not be 40 again or 50, and I don't see that, but I see some 30s next week, Monday, Tuesday. They look warm, okay? They look warm, 6 to 10 day. But let's take a look at the 8 to 14 day. Things start to change. I see, and this worked the last long range. Long range forecasts are a little dicier. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. But the last long range I did in November, calling for a cold December, worked. So I am calling for, and not only me, the CPC, but I see it. I see it on the models, and I believe it. And it makes sense to me. Listen, we shouldn't have a super, super mild winter. So on the 17th of the month, in about 10 days, there's going to be a shot of actual cold air. Is it going to be the polar vortex? That I don't know. Is it probably going to 20, 25 below zero? Yes. I think it's horrible because I know a lot of like ice houses and stuff like that. Even though it was a cold December, just the snowpack early in the year kind of jacked with the ice. This is going to be a better, once we get to the second half of January, everybody's going to be out there enjoying at least a solid month of, and this is why I'm torn on getting permanent ice house, because even on a good winter like this, there's too many variables. But yes, one more mild week here. Saturday, I do think we'll see a few snow showers and flurries, but again, I don't have anything major. Just got to get through today's system. Thanks for joining us.